CS Stog. I thought it was CS Stog, but you're like, no,
CS Dog.
Christian Surfer St. Augustine.
That's a long name to put on a shirt.
Aloha, everybody. It's Mark Sawyer-Chu, host of the Christian Surfers podcast. We just wanted to say a special thanks to Almond Surfboards and Trustless Property Management to thank them for their support and love. Those guys love the Lord. We wouldn't be able to tell the stories of Jesus from all around the world through this ministry without those guys. Almond Surfboards, based in Costa Mesa, California, since 2007. They've been building timeless boards and just helping families and friends just surf the everyday average waves, but making it fun and remembering the joy of surfing. Beautiful boards from mid-lengths and longboards to fishes and shortboards. Go by, check them out. Really fun merch too, and they do a great job building community. Gary Ward and Bryce and the team over at Trustless Property Management, based in San Clemente, absolute legends as well, who love the Lord. And if you have a property that you want a family-owned business that you can trust to operate it, or looking for a place or home to purchase, I did my place and bought our home through them. Those are great guys to work with. So Trustless Property Management and Almond Surfboards, God bless you guys, and thank you for all your support with Christian Surfers.
Hey guys, and aloha. It's Mark Sawyer-Chu, your host of the Christian Surfers podcast, Talk Story, where we talk Jesus and talk with surfers that love Jesus. Please tune in to hear some amazing stories of faith and the kingdom, and we'll see you soon.
Dude,
Yeah.
friends and family, brothers and sisters, welcome to the Christian Surfers Talk Story podcast, where we talk to people that love Jesus and follow Jesus, such as yourself, Jacob.
Yes, sir.
Jacob Galura, thank you so much, buddy.
Thanks for
Long
having me,
time
Mark.
coming.
Oh yeah,
I know
stoked to be here.
You're an amazing leader in the local Christian Surfers St. Augustine chapter. You got it right here, CS Stog. I thought it was CS Stog, but you're like,
CS Dog.
Christian Surfers St. Augustine.
That's a long name to put on a shirt.
You're right. You made it work, and it's an icebreaker. It's a great icebreaker.
Oh yeah.
People ask,
What is that?
what is that? Come on out to Christian Surfers Monday nights at 4th Street.
Yep.
You've inherited us 2 years ago when we became Floridians
We're
from
stoked.
California.
Got
It's a great chapter, guys. If you guys are in town or around the St. Augustine area, make sure you check out this guy's local chapter. He does an amazing job. Jacob, I feel like you have like 20 jobs. Is that accurate?
It seems like it over the years. Yeah. it's changed a lot, but yeah, it's been really fun.
Yeah. I felt like when I first met you, you were just a shop grom, even though you weren't.
That was a grom. Yeah.
You were working at the Pit Surf Shop here in St. Augustine, one of the local surf shops. Great shop there off of 8th Street.
Yeah.
And you would pick me up from MCO in Orlando at like 4 a.m. to go to Surf Expo all day, and we'd be surfing with Christian surfers. And so,
Oh yeah.
Roy Turner, Rod Thomas, we love you guys. We'll be back soon.
Yep.
But-
See you guys in January.
That's right. We'll see you guys in January. And you were working there for a while. You've always kind of been, what was your first entry point with Christian surfers?
First entry point, I was the college grom they were trying to reach in St. Augustine. So that was,
You were going to Flagler?
yeah, I was a student at Flagler here in St. Augustine and met a couple of the guys on staff in the water at the pier. And they had to chase me down and keep blowing up my phone to get me to show up to CS, and finally did.
Nice. Who was leading Christian surfers locally when they were reaching out to you?
Yeah, so when I was getting involved, the whole staff pretty much lived here. So Dean, Plumley, Casey, Paul Hires, Alex Hobbs, the whole crew was living in St. Augustine. And so Alex and Paul were the two guys I really connected with a ton, and a little bit of Nestor too while he was in town.
Nice.
So
the heavy hitters were coming after
yeah,
Jacob Galura.
did not know it at the time, but yeah, spent a lot of time just surfing with those guys, and finally showed up to CS and spent some time in the Shaping Bay watching Pablo build boards. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's awesome. And you were, that's how much Jesus wanted to pursue Jacob G. Sent our best missionaries to come after you. Did you ever do that internship here?
I did
office?
not. So I knew, and I'm still good friends with some of the guys that did the internship, but I didn't know about it until I was almost finished in college. And
Yeah.
so that, and I was also broke in college. So that was a
Like most of us.
thing. Yeah. Yeah.
What year was that when you joined or heard about Christian Surfers?
I finally showed up to my first CS meeting probably 2013, 2014-ish, somewhere in there. I was a sophomore in college. So, yeah.
Wow. And how long before you got involved in terms of staff or leadership? Were you just coming out to check it out for a while?
Yeah, so I was just showing up, just the normal Grom, coming to CS, and did that for a while and went to an Outer Banks camp out. It's actually where I met you for the first time, was that first Outer Banks camp out. Is right before Casey and the Cruciano fam moved to South Africa.
Wow. That was a while back.
Yeah, so that was the weekend I gave my life back to the Lord after spending some time away. And so after that camp out, it was
Filipino prodigal son.
Yeah, game on. Just really wanted to get more plugged in with CS and just loved everything about it. And fundraised to go on my first CS Surf and Serve, and then a couple years later graduated college and didn't have a job and ended up getting asked to come on staff from former National Director Jimmy Kaiser.
Jimmy, he is a legend. We love you, Jimmy, if you're watching.
Yeah.
So how long have you been on staff now?
Shoot. I started beginning of 2017, so I don't know, 8 years.
8 years. That's a long time on staff. That could be like 30 years in and out of ministry. Tell us about your title and your role with Christian Surfers United States.
Yeah, so my current role is the Southeast Regional Coordinator. So I get to help work with and serve all of our amazing chapters in the southeast part of the U.S. So mostly in Florida. Almost all of our chapters in the region are in Florida, going from Jupiter on the southern end all the way up to Jacksonville up here, just north of us, and everywhere in between. Yeah, really excited. Got some inland chapters starting up, and hopefully seeing some happen in Georgia and hopefully Charleston someday, getting that chapter restarted.
Yeah, that'd be a great city to have Christian Surfers back in.
Yeah.
What can you give us a quick update on Christian Surfers United States? How many chapters are there right now? And you already kind of alluded to a couple areas we need to be praying for.
Yeah. So right now, I believe we're north of 20 chapters between the East Coast and California, and there's so many conversations with areas of interest of chapters that are in the process of starting. So it's been hard to keep track of the exact number because there's just so much happening.
Yeah. So from a shop ground to now newly married man.
Yeah.
To your beautiful wife, Kendall.
Yep.
Colonial Church. You just came back from Costa Rica. You're about to head out to El Salvador this week after leading Christian Surfers tomorrow. What are some of the activities that you're involved with for Christian Surfers United States? I know you do a lot of mission trips.
Yeah, so I love the going on mission aspect with CS, and just love taking the next generation of leaders and, really looking for those Groms that remind me of where I used to be, where, kind of doing their own thing, not thinking they really needed a relationship with the Lord, and, just bringing them to a place where they can experience Jesus, not just in creation, but also through some amazing local ministry partners, and just getting to see God work on their hearts over the course of a week. So that's definitely one of my favorite things. And but I love getting to go to different chapter events, whether it's, a surf contest like Daytona has with the Spring Fling, or helping serve with New Smyrna at the Rip Curl Grom Search, just different opportunities. And then obviously we love the camp outs in the Outer Banks, and, we try to cycle through a Florida camp out every other year. So, but yeah, I love getting to spend time with just the amazing community that CS has in Florida.
Yeah, there's no shortage of amazing events and activities here with Jacob here in Christian Surfers Southeast. So make sure you check it out if you guys are in town. Before you guys got involved, before you rededicated your life to Jesus, Jacob and Kim got involved with Christian Surfers, did you grow up a Christian? And was it in Orlando? Because I know we crashed at your parents' house before, and their generosity for Surf Expo in the past.
Yeah, so I grew up, my family loves Jesus. I grew up in church and grew up in a Christian home, Christian school, going to church. And so definitely knew who Jesus was and knew a lot of the Bible stories that that are kind of foundational. But as I got older, especially like late middle school, didn't really fit in much at the church I was at growing up. Like the only kid that didn't go to one or two schools. And so just didn't quite fit in with the other kids, got picked on quite a bit, and ended up just bailing on the youth group altogether and not wanting to go to church. And that kind of started a season of just me being away from church. But I grew up playing baseball, and so I had a really amazing travel coach, just a super solid believer, just man of God and leader. And so playing for him for 2 years leading up into high school, he was running Bible studies for the team on Sunday nights. And so that was really where I got back into like learning who God was and learning what God said about me in a place that I was doing it with, my friends that I was playing sports with, and just being poured into somebody that was pouring so much more into me, not just training me for a sport, but investing into my life in a holistic way. That was kind of me growing up, and got to college, tried to play sports in college. And when that fell apart, my whole identity was wrapped up in being an athlete. It wasn't being a child of God. It wasn't being a believer. It was, I'm a baseball player. And so when that ended, kind of rocked my world for a little bit. And my first year of college was a pretty big struggle of trying to relearn who I was. And that's where surfing kind of came in. It was something I knew, and going to college in a beach town, you just grab your board and you go to the beach. That's what everybody does when they're not in class. And so that's how I got back into surfing.
I'm Shannon Ainsley, a double shark attack survivor. And for the last 13 years, I've worked on a biography which tracks my life. So this book includes my upbringing in post-apartheid South Africa and how I kind of struggled mentally and emotionally through depression and suicidal thoughts, and then how my shark attack was the turning point in my life, and where I had this crazy, amazing God encounter where He protected me and saved me and rescued me from my mental and emotional problems. And then from there, how I was able to use surfing and surf coaching as a tool to try and make a difference in other people's lives. So if you're interested in some great stories, get a copy of this book. You can find it as an ebook or as a paperback cover through Amazon and some other platforms like BookBaby and also Take-A-Lot. And so hang on, that was rock, not BookBaby. Wasn't on BookBaby. Okay, one more time. Here comes your dad, hang on.
Shannon? Shannon, is that really you? Mate, I have got a copy of your book. And I heard you were here, and I wondered whether you'd sign it for me. Because, I love your story, and this book is amazing. It's like the best book I've ever read. There's the Bible, and then there's this. Well, no, there's this, and then there's the Bible. But you know what I'm saying, man? This is incredible. Would you sign it for me? Would you?
Easy, why not, man?
Would you do it?
Anything for a good friend, eh?
Just if you just write the message, Richard, you're the best surfer in Christian surfers.
Okay.
In Christian surfers, you're better than Roy Harley.
Christian surfers.
Yes.
You're better than
Roy Harley.
Who's that?
Roy Harley's just this incidental dude who drops it on me every once in a while.
Okay. Better than Roy Harley.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I feel like we've been all over the world together now.
Yeah.
From France and El Salvador, Costa Rica. We hang out in Bali.
Yeah,
next year
hopefully.
for the next Christian Surfers International Conference. You guys got all the new Bibles for Christian Surfers, which has been an amazing project for you. You've been a longtime volunteer now at our new local church that we found through you guys in Christian Surfers, Colonial Church in St. Augustine. And you lead a couple surf trips for them as well, correct?
Yeah, so we started 3 years ago. I just love Pastors Matt and Jill. They just have such a huge heart for the beach community. They're both surfers. Maddie coming from Australia, and just Jill loving to surf just as much as he does, maybe even more. It was just really cool hearing their heart when we talked about partnering with them with CS, and that was kind of the start of the partnership, was talking about doing a mission trip together, and it just kind of evolved from there to where now it's so much more than just a mission trip. That's one small way we get to be involved, but we get to, some of our leaders are out helping at surf camp that we just finished up for church. Instead of VBS, we have surf camp, and so it's cool seeing the tie-ins there. We have just different ways of people to connect with church through Christian Surfers, and it's just been a really cool partnership to see grow over the years.
Yeah, such a solid church. Pastor Manny Joe, we love you guys. Thank you for supporting Christian Surfers St. Augustine. You were you were the surf lead for the Colonial Church Surf Camp. You got a lot of Christian surfers involved. It was really cool. You did it 1 week for 3 different months this summer. A lot of the kids, you had me out there as your token surf instructor. I was probably the worst one, but you still had me out. But a lot of those kids, like you were saying, or families don't even go to church. Or let alone Colonial. So it was so cool to have them come out, be a part of the fellowship and the activities on the beach. You guys would open up with prayer and worship and just giving that exposure to the gospel. And hopefully, through that, creating that relationship and inviting them to church and Christian Surfers.
Yeah, and it's just such a natural, follow-up of these kids fall in love with surfing at surf camp, and we all know how dark the surf world can be. And so for these kids that are, brand new to hearing about Jesus sometimes, or just kids growing up in the church, they want to get into surfing, but, now we can provide them with a place where they can plug into really solid biblical community around surfing, to where they don't just have their church family, they can have their CS family that's right there with them and, a part of the same church family. So it's really cool just being able to invite someone from one really amazing group of people into another. And it just strengthens what God's doing in St. Augustine.
Yeah. What can we expect in the next year or so from Jacob Galura, Christian Surfer St. Aug, and the CSUS movement?
Man, God's just doing so much here, just locally. We've just seen him bring so many new people out to see us in St. Augustine. We've got, new leaders. We've got a huge crew from another amazing church, it's Reverb, just up the road. And they've got a really strong showing of their young adults and youth group guys coming out, and they're just frothing on getting into surfing, and they're just chasing after Jesus super hard. So there's something really cool happening in town here with the chapter, and God's just blessed us with so many amazing volunteers that are helping lead so well, to the point where I'm not really leading it. It's the team. Like I haven't been leading it for a long time. I just get to sit back and watch these guys pour their hearts into a local chapter, and just see it grow so much has been really cool. So just praying that God continues to use the chapter here as a light in the city. And we're really excited. There's a few new areas that we're praying for that are in the process of developing a chapter. One of them is in Tallahassee, which is huge because Florida State University is one of the biggest colleges in Florida. They've got a surf team, but it's a huge...
They're landlocked.
They're landlocked, but they got a ton of guys from Jacksonville and from Orlando and different parts of the state that go there that surf. And so they've got a pretty good surf team, but it's a huge party school. It's a big football school. So just that environment can breed a lot of opportunities for people to stumble if they're coming from a house that follows the Lord. But we're really working on building a community of surfers that live in Tallahassee that love the Lord. And we've got a handful of guys from that surf club that are already interested. And so we're praying that hopefully by the end of this year, we'll be able to officially launch that chapter. And then the other one's down in Ponce Inlet. It's such a hotbed for surfing in Florida. It's the other side of New Smyrna. And just, we've had a lot of guys from Christian Surfers in the Daytona area really have a heart for Ponce, but we're really trying to grow the Daytona group and just see them overflow into Ponce, to where the guys that live on the south end will kind of take over and start something that really intentionally goes after the Ponce surf community.
Yeah, that's such a hotbed of surfers here in Florida. It's like the Oceanside or San Clemente,
for sure,
Florida. You've got New Smyrna, Ponce. That whole stretch there that you talked about, Jacob, that you cover. There are definitely some key prayer points like Tallahassee, Ponce Inlet. But if you guys are in there, make sure you check out one of the chapters. Jacob's done such an amazing job in this region, and that's why there's so many strong Christian surfer movements here.
You mentioned some of those trips and activities earlier, Jacob. How does someone get in touch with you? How does someone get involved with the local chapter or get on one of those trips?
Yeah, I mean, getting involved with the local chapter, it's super important. You can find a whole list and a map of where our chapters are on the website at christiansurfers.com. So find the closest one to you, and you can click on the little map pin and it'll give you the contact info for the local leaders, and you can reach out. Most of our chapters are on social media, which most people use now. And so it's just a really easy way to connect there. And most of the chapters will post the details of their meetings and where they're going. And so it's a great way to find out what's happening and when. And same thing with the trips. A lot of them get posted on the website as well. We try to have, a pretty good option and pretty good list of options for trips. And so we've definitely grown as a staff over the last couple of years, and in doing so, the capacity for these mission trips has grown with the number of people that are capable of leading them. And so really just going on that website, finding one of those areas that, God's put on your heart, some of those countries that we have listed, and then just reaching out. You can register straight through the website for a lot of them, or apply for some of the more intense ones. But yeah, it's one of those things where even if you don't know anybody and God's putting missions on your heart, it's a great place to look, because it really captures the balance of surfers wanting to go and surf amazing waves, but channeling that passion for surf and turning it into something good in a community in another part of the world.
Right on. I love that, Jacob. Before we get into prayer requests and how people can get in touch with you and support you, we got 2 lightning round, Holy Spirit round, icebreaker questions for you.
Let's go.
All right. So, favorite memory or trip in your time with us at Christian Surfers?
Ooh. I mean, my favorite memory from a trip was my first trip I ever led, because I wasn't supposed to lead. The guys that were actually slated to lead that trip had to back out a couple weeks prior, and I was just going to go to learn. I'd been on one trip before, and Paul Hires, friend and mentor at the time, was like, "All right, dude, you're in charge." And I think I was 22 and just thinking, what am I doing? And thankfully I was on a trip with a bunch of my really close friends, and God just worked so much on me that week, and I learned so much about myself and so much about who God's called me to be by being in a place of extreme discomfort, never been to the country before, and really uncomfortable leading at the time. And so thankfully everybody on that trip was full of grace, and I just got to see God work in my heart immensely, and that's where my passion for going on mission really started.
Awesome. That's amazing. What a great opportunity to be thrown in the fire.
Thrown in.
Fire hose. Least favorite Christian surfer to surf with? Just kidding. Worst drop in, worst burn by a Christian surfer in the water? Who's, besides me, who's dropped on you the worst?
Dude, I think honestly I might be the worst culprit.
You're the perpetrator.
Yeah, I think last year at the Americas Conference in El Salvador, it was pumping that whole trip, and one of my better waves the whole trip came because I dropped in on my friend and colleague Lizon from the Gulf Coast. So Lizon, I'm sorry, I love you, but I was definitely getting frustrated at a point break with 70 other people out. So
it's a lot of heads. Probably half of them were us.
That's the first time I've ever seen a right-hand point look like lowers.
That's right. So lesson for today is, if you drop in on someone, make sure you apologize, because you never know. They might be a ministry partner in Christian Surfers, and even not, still apologize anyway.
Yeah, and probably don't wear a shirt that says "God loves surfers" on the back when you drop in on somebody. That was unfortunate. Thankfully, it was somebody that knew that already.
Good. Yeah, there you go. Be a good witness out there. That's why I don't have the fish on the back of our cars, because I'm not always the best driver. Jacob, how does someone get in touch with you, and what are some ways that people could be supporting you?
Yeah, you can get in touch with me. All of my contact is on the CS website. I'm on Instagram, but primary way to get in touch would be my phone or email. And then, the biggest way to support is obviously just covering everything that we do in prayer. Everything that has happened in my life in CS is not because of me, because I am not an incredible leader. I am not an incredible surfer. And so all of those things are God working through me, because without that, I'm not capable of doing anything that I've been able to do and be a part of. And so definitely continued prayer. And then obviously just praying for provision financially. We're newly married, but hoping to have a family someday soon. And so just needing to, trust in the Lord for provision for, kids someday, and being able to stay in ministry while we grow this family is a huge goal for me. And so, yeah, that would be probably the two biggest ones.
Yeah, very important. Our Hoppa kids look forward to meeting your future Hoppa kids.
Yeah.
And so, guys, what an amazing time with this guy and this legend. Is you have the chance, make sure check out his info, send him a message or DM on the Christian Surfers United States website, christiansurfers.com. Jacob, thank you so much for your time and all that you do
Mark.
for Christian surfers here in the United States and around the world. And as you alluded to, God uses ordinary people because he's an extraordinary God. So
Yeah.
an honor to serve alongside you, brother.
Thanks,
Thank
brother.
you.
Appreciate
Thanks for coming
you.
over.
Thanks
All
for
right.
having me.
Yeah.